There is a moment in life when you realize that what exhausts you the most is not effort, not responsibility, not even struggle. What exhausts you is noise, the constant presence of things, people, conversations, and obligations that add nothing to who you are becoming. You wake up tired, not because life is hard, but because your environment is heavy. We often talk about inner peace as if it were something you need to find inside yourself, while ignoring the fact that peace is constantly being attacked from the outside. Your environment shapes your thoughts, your energy, your focus, and your confidence more than you realize. You can have good intentions, strong values, and real potential, and still feel stuck simply because everything around you pulls you backward. Cleaning your environment is not about becoming cold or selective in a selfish way. It's about becoming honest. Honest about what supports you and what drains you. Honest about who is truly present and who is only around when it's convenient. Honest about which events inspire growth and which only consume time and emotional space. Many people stay surrounded by the wrong influences because they confuse familiarity with loyalty. They stay in friendships that no longer fit, not because they are meaningful, but because they are familiar. They attend events out of habit, not because they bring value. They tolerate conversations that lower their energy just to avoid discomfort. Over time, this tolerance becomes a quiet form of self-betrayal. One of the hardest truths to accept is that not everyone who walks with you is meant to walk with you forever. Some people were there for a season, not a lifetime. They supported you when you needed support, but cannot grow with the version of you that is emerging now. Letting go of them does not erase what you shared. It simply acknowledges that growth creates distance, and distance is not always a failure. A clean environment starts with awareness. Pay attention to how you feel after interacting with someone, not during, after. Do you feel lighter, clearer, motivated, or do you feel drained, doubtful, smaller? Energy does not lie. It gives honest feedback when your mind tries to justify what your body already knows. The same applies to events and commitments. Many people are constantly busy but rarely fulfilled. They attend gatherings that leave them empty, say yes to invitations that bring no meaning, and fill their calendars with obligations that have nothing to do with their values. This creates a life that looks full from the outside but feels empty on the inside. Peace requires space, and space is created by removal, not addition. Removing the wrong influences does not mean isolating yourself. It means choosing quality over quantity. It means making room for silence, reflection, and purposeful connection. When your environment is clean, your thoughts slow down. Your decisions become clearer. Your confidence stabilizes because you are no longer constantly adapting to noise. There's also courage involved in this process. Cleaning your environment often disappoints people, not because you did something wrong, but because your boundaries interrupt their access to you. Some will accuse you of changing. They are right. Change is the point. Growth demands adjustment. You are not responsible for staying small so others can feel comfortable. You're responsible for building a life that allows you to live with integrity and peace. Another overlooked aspect of environmental cleaning is emotional clutter. Old resentments, unresolved guilt, repeated mental conversations with people who are no longer present. These inner attachments keep you tied to the past, even when your physical environment changes. Letting go emotionally is just as important as letting go physically. Forgiveness is not about excusing behavior. It is about releasing yourself from carrying what no longer serves you. Holding on to resentment keeps you connected to what hurt you. Letting go breaks that connection. Peace begins where attachment ends. A clean environment also supports potential. When distractions are removed, energy is redirected. Focus improves. Creativity returns. You stop wasting emotional resources on people and situations that don't reciprocate. This is when growth becomes visible. Not because you suddenly try harder, but because nothing is holding you back anymore. Many people underestimate how powerful it is to be surrounded by people who respect your boundaries, support your direction, and show up consistently. You don't need many, you need real. One honest conversation is worth more than a room full of shallow connections. Cleaning your environment also means learning to walk alone at times. Solitude is not loneliness, it is alignment. Some phases of growth require distance so you can hear your own thoughts again. When you are no longer influenced by constant opinions, your intuition strengthens. You begin to trust yourself more. This process is uncomfortable at first. Silence can feel heavy when you're used to noise. Distance can feel like loss when you're used to company. But what feels uncomfortable initially often becomes peaceful later. What feels familiar is not always healthy. Over time, something shifts. You become calmer, not because life is easier, but because your environment no longer fights you. You stop explaining yourself as much. You stop justifying your boundaries. You feel more grounded, more focused, more aligned with who you are becoming. Living in peace is not about escaping responsibility. It's about removing unnecessary weight. Exploiting your potential is not about doing more. It's about doing less of what doesn't matter and more of what does. When your environment is clean, your life becomes intentional. Your energy has direction, your growth has space, and your peace is no longer fragile because it is protected by the choices you make every day. If you feel overwhelmed, stuck, or constantly drained, don't immediately look inward and blame yourself. Look around. Look at who you give access to. Look at what you tolerate. Look at where your time and energy go. Sometimes the most powerful form of self-care is subtraction. If this message resonates with you and you want to build a life with clarity, peace, discipline, and intentional growth, this channel is here to support that journey. Subscribe to Motivate Me now and continue learning how to protect your energy, clean your environment, and live in alignment with who you truly are.